farming in Jamaica can help you out of poverty, but it is so underrated. It's very much underrated. If you are looking for a way to keep earning while you are strong enough, I mean, if you don't have much resources, but you have the strength, the endurance, and the access to land, and maybe transport as a plus. In fact, transport might even be essential. I would recommend farming for you. Why most people don't manage to do much with farming is simply because they try to do too much with farming. You must simply try to do the simplest thing that will pay you. And if you start overcomplicate it or adding too much to it, then that's where the problem comes in, because maybe you won't have enough resources to deal with all of that. Okay? So if you know that Mr. Baker has a restaurant down by the coastline, and about maybe eight other people have restaurants down there, and you have vendors that you know you can sell a certain amount of okras to. You have enough budget and time to do that, and you have a game plan for it. Don't in the middle of that plan decide to plant dashing and a whole lot of things because you think you can sell them, because you are overpowering yourself. Hi again, my people. It's Skywalker. Top of the day or top of the night to you, depending on when you see this video. I know that people as far as the Netherlands are watching, so time crosses time, if you know what I mean. Incidentally, since we are on the topic of farming, many people love livestock, and many also love to buy ram goats on Christmas. I know a farmer who is selling a huge boar Nubian mix at this time. The ram is well over 100 pounds, possibly at 140 or so. He could be a great surrogate if you are planning a farm, or for those who want to buy for other reasons. Just connect me in the comments and I will give you the details. The farmer is around the Montego Bay area. At the end of this video, I will talk about the lucrative business of goat farming and challenges with it. I will speak from personal experiences. Let me give you a secret about farming in Jamaica in general. Here it is. Urban people, are those that connect to urban and commercial areas, do better financially with farming. For example, a farmer in the remote parts of St. Elizabeth might depend on buyers or vendors to come and buy at cheap cost. These vendors will always hold the advantage when it comes to price. For this reason, the farmer will be hard pressed to eke out a good living. An urban person can plant way less and still earn way more. If this farm is on land surrounding the township, he knows exactly where he will go and let off his product for satisfying gains. He can even use his own family members, spouse or so, as retail vendors, or simply supply restaurants at cheaper rates that are still way more lucrative than what country vendors receive. Moreover, he has little overhead with transportation costs. If he plants okras, for example, he can simply market to the coastline restaurants in his area and even do job offs for homesters. Simply selling products like Kalalu and Asonde can make money, but not if you don't own a vehicle. One secret to small township farmers is that choosing a smaller vehicle will work out. It's not like they are dealing with harsh terrains to get to work, but they will be dealing with gas costs. If you are selling pepper, okras, kalalu, and pak chow to surrounding restaurants, even a small Toyota would be better than a large pickup van, because you must go on calls, especially for the urban farmers that go to farm on lots in residential townships. There is no way to quantify what an urban farmer can make to if he uses his car to retail from say a 1 acre lot of plantains. Some rural farmers get lucky by coming into town, but most don't even, or let's say that most don't have that intimate connection with the town runnings. Like you are marketing to your own people in your neighborhood and one hand washing the other. Hopewell Hanover has breadfruit and Dakis galore, and their breadfruit is famous, but in Hopewell it will simply splash onto the ground and waste. You can't sell it to the neighbor now, can you? It takes a man from Catchin Hall who bought a piece of land in Hopewell with 6 fully grown trees on it to see the use of those breadfruits. On his weekend visits, he makes thousands of dollars by simply parking his car and bringing them to fill orders in the city. Use that idea and understand the little intricacies. My people, by me explaining this, I hope you are seeing the biggest drawback to people who wish to go into farming: transportation. This is where the government needs to look. In 2024, Jamaica, it makes little to no sense to go into farming before you have transport. I want to drive this truth home. The government needs to find ways for farmers to receive transport loans. And your Holiness did help that lady with a donkey that fits her terrain. But there must also be a grand effort to help farmers secure assistance for motor vehicles. Come on. There are cheap projects that can make a lot more money than people think. And when I say cheap projects, I mean cheap farming projects. And these projects can make a lot more money than they get credit for. And they can turn around, the turnaround time for them is in a matter of short months, even as little as 3 to 4. Moreover, these crops are closer to 100% certain to deliver fair yield. Just because we are in a beginning stage in our development, this part of the process should not be neglected as it can raise so many out of poverty. This will also bring more benefits to rural farmers who will begin to focus on importing to foreign markets in the region that can easily be made open. We import less because we concentrate more on local markets. We export less because we are servicing local markets too much. Our emphasis is mainly on filling the local spots. This, my proposed strategy, will change all of that. Urban farmers can do exceptionally well when they farm in rural areas on large plots of land with large acreages too. The same advantages will apply. I tell you that a youth with a mini-sized car can farm as a cheap project on his cousin's Darman 5 square lot and easily earn $30,000 per week. If the Jamaican government wants to challenge Skywalker to a bet, they can try me. If this can easily be done, why are we tripping then? And I don't want to hear a thing from comrades that want to use this observation of mine as a pint of order on which to blame the hard-working government that does 10 times better than their party did anyway. No matter how good the system, we can find ways to make it even better. On the business of goat farming. Goat farming in Jamaica was almost destroyed for the simple reason that it was quite lucrative. Criminals will destroy everything if the government lets up. Here are some advice that I would give to those that choose to enter into goat farming. One, you must be prepared to stay a 5 years course before you start seeing the full reward. Two, spend a large portion of your investment fund on a goat. Don't even play with this advice because you will regret it. It's better to buy one dominant Sir ram and three ewe goats than one Finke Finke ram and six ewe goats. In 5 years, the ram will pay you 5 years, and it will pay you back that difference and more. Don't put too much trust in bag feed. Natural range as close to all together as possible. Not only will the feed be cheaper or free, but you will spend multiple times less on medication. I have lost goats because they ate bag feed, never because they ate naturally. For some reason, I had much less bother with stomach worms when I free range fed my goats. For years, I maintained 100% survival rate with the young kids, which I thought was impossible before. When I eventually lost kids, it was minimal percentage. You have to see sickness signs because they can talk and tell you. You only need one Sir ram for even 30 ewes. But if you pick a great ram, like I told you, or like the one I told you about at the beginning of this video, you will never regret it. People will be coming from around the country to buy goats from you, and some will offer you cow prices to stop you from selling to others. Of all the farming projects I experienced, goat farming was most lucrative, but it will be too taxing if you don't have enough acres that are properly fenced. Business wise, in Jamaica, I rather go for grown provisions than to go for livestock farming gigs that depend too much on grains making companies. It is not for you to survive, it's only to buy their products, and there is not much in it for you. So, nothing beats raising cows and goats, but you must have the proper facilities and use the food that God gave you for them. My thing today, 100% though, is ground provisions. I can give you advice on livestock based on my experience, but if you are going to raise more than a few, make sure you have facilities. If you want to raise a few goats that you can handle, that's also a great idea because you can only gain from it. Goats are expensive, which makes even more sense to buy a great ram, even if you only want a few goats for stock. There is a huge difference between a ewe giving birth to a $100,000 ram than to a $20,000 one, isn't it? My people, farming is a passion of mine, but I can't talk all day. Think on these things and see you in the next video. As I said before, those that want to connect to the farmer who has this prized ram, connect me in the comments. Peace out.